So the idea that animates this lecture is, as Barb said, the astonishing ability of an archetypal image or pattern to enter, transform, and ground an individual life. The tricky word for me is ground. To speak of the grounding of a life in and by an archetypal image, the story I realize that makes the most sense for me to tell is the one that gave rise to my work with this subject, my own 35-year-long encounter with the archetypal shepherd. Personal reserve and professional discretion immediately said no. I think, like Freud, I prefer the safety that authority affords. But shepherds are adamant fellows. They're not about safety, and so I'm going to take a risk and speak from my own sheepishness. Nevertheless, I need your help. The story that I'm about to tell includes some sexual energy and some religious energy. So there's a possibility it's going to activate complexes as readily as it stimulates archetypal engagement. And there is nothing worse than a room full of Jungians in complex. So, I think you know what I'm saying. So here's what I propose. I'm going to try and speak from my body as well as my head, and to present my experiences transparently so you can look through them to consider the archetypal energies that animate your life, which are almost certainly different than that which animates mine. Now, in return, I'm going to ask you to be both good English majors and good clinicians, even if you're neither. That is, in the spirit of both Coleridge and Kohut, suspend your disbelief and vicariously introspect. Enter the experiences that I'm going to relate so that together we can try to draw near a powerful archetypal image. Time is limited. In fact, I should have noticed when I started, but I know it's limited, so the pace is going to be quick. My ongoing encounter with the archetypal image of shepherd has not been in dreams so much as it has been in waking, embodied, highly charged experiences, and I'm going to describe 3 of them. The first in more detail, because that was the moment when the shepherd image entered my life and began to reform or transform it. The latter part of the presentation will amplify some aspects of the image, as well as relate some of the ways that I experience it as a personal archetypal ground, if that's not an oxymoron. Long before I was an analyst or even a Jungian, I discovered the power of an image to come out of nowhere, clobber the life I was living, and lead me into one I would never have imagined. Meeting the Good Shepherd was bewildering and humbling, visceral and numinous. Image 1. One reason it seemed to me to come from nowhere was that it's a religious image, and I was not a religious person.